There's one thing every Subaru owner must check before hitting 100,000 miles. Not your oil, not your transmission fluid, not your brakes or tires. Something far more critical. Something that, if you don't check it and address it now, will destroy your engine within the next 20,000 to 30,000 miles. I'm talking about a ticking time bomb hidden inside your Subaru's engine. A failure that's not a matter of if, but when. A problem that costs $2,500 to prevent, but $6,000 to $8,000 to fix after it fails. Most Subaru owners have no idea this issue exists until it's too late. They hit 110,000 miles, and suddenly they're staring at catastrophic engine failure, mixing coolant and oil, overheating, and a repair bill that totals the car. Here's the worst part. This failure is almost guaranteed on certain Subaru models. If you have one of these engines and you haven't checked this yet, you're driving on borrowed time. The failure I'm talking about affects millions of Subarus. Models from the late 1990s through the mid-2010s. Outbacks, Foresters, Legacies, Imprezas, all vulnerable. And the crazy thing? This failure is completely preventable if you catch it before 100,000 miles. Today, I'm telling you exactly what to check, which Subaru models are affected, how to know if you're at risk, what it costs to prevent versus repair, and what happens if you ignore this until it's too late. Whether your Subaru has 50,000 miles or 95,000 miles, you need to know about this right now. Let's get into it. The ticking time bomb. Head gaskets. Here it is. The one thing every Subaru owner must check before 100,000 miles, your head gaskets. If you own a Subaru with the EJ25 engine, and we'll talk about which models have this in a moment, your head gaskets are a guaranteed failure point. Not might fail, not could fail. They will fail. The only question is when, and whether you catch it early enough to prevent catastrophic damage. Why Subaru head gaskets fail. Here's why this happens. Subaru's EJ25 engine uses a horizontally opposed boxer design. The cylinders are horizontal, sticking out to the sides. The head gaskets seal the cylinder heads to the engine block at the sides of the engine, not at the top like traditional engines. These gaskets are under constant stress from thermal cycling, heating and cooling, combustion pressure, pushing outward on horizontal surfaces, coolant and oil pressure, the weight of the cylinder heads pulling sideways instead of being supported by gravity. Subaru's original head gasket design from the late 1990s through the mid-2000s used a composite material that couldn't handle this stress long term. The gaskets break down. They start leaking, and once they start leaking, the failure accelerates rapidly. Which Subaru models are affected? Here are the Subaru models most affected by this head gasket issue. High-risk models, almost guaranteed failure, 1996 to 1999. Legacy, Outback, Impreza, Phase 1, EJ25, 2000 to 2011. Outback, 2.5 liters, 2000 to 2011. Legacy, 2.5 liters, 2000 to 2010. Forester, 2.5 liters, 2000 to 2011. Impreza, 2.5 liters, non-turbo, moderate risk. Models 2012 to 2014. Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza, newer design but still vulnerable. Low-risk models, different engine or design. Any 3.0 liter or 3.6 liter. H6 engine. These don't have the head gasket problem. 2008 to 2014 WRX and STI with EJ25 turbo. Different head gasket design. Much more reliable. 2015 plus models with FB series engines, mostly resolved though not completely. If your Subaru has the naturally aspirated 2.5 liter engine and was built between 1996 to 2011, you have the head gasket time bomb. The warning signs. Catching it early. The key to surviving the head gasket issue is catching it early, before catastrophic failure. Here are the warning signs to look for. External oil leaks. Check the sides of your engine block near where the heads meet the block. Look for oil seepage or wet spots. This is often the first sign. The gasket is starting to fail and oil is seeping out. Coolant loss. Are you adding coolant every few weeks or months? Even a few ounces of unexplained coolant loss is a warning sign. Check your coolant overflow tank regularly. If the level drops, investigate immediately. White exhaust smoke. When you start the car, especially when cold, do you see white smoke from the exhaust? White smoke, not blue, not black, indicates coolant burning in the combustion chamber. This means the head gasket is leaking internally, allowing coolant into the cylinders. Overheating or temperature fluctuations. Does your temperature gauge move up and down while driving? Does it run slightly hotter than it used to? These are signs of coolant circulation problems or air pockets caused by failing gaskets. Milky oil or coolant pull the dipstick. Is the oil milky or frothy looking? Check the coolant reservoir. Is there an oily film on top? Either of these indicates oil and coolant are mixing, a severe head gasket failure. Sweet smell from exhaust. Coolant has a sweet smell. If you smell it from your exhaust, coolant is burning. Oil spots under the car. Park on clean cardboard overnight. Check for oil spots in the morning. Spots near the sides of the engine indicate head gasket seepage. If you're seeing any of these symptoms, your head gaskets are failing. Time to act. Before we continue, head gasket failure is just one of many critical checkpoints before 100,000 miles. If you want the complete maintenance checklist for every major milestone, 50,000, 75,000, 100,000, and beyond, I've documented it all in the 500,000-mile car maintenance blueprint. It shows you exactly what to inspect and when, so you catch problems before they become catastrophic. Link in the description. Don't wait until it's too late. What happens if you ignore it? Let's talk about what happens if you ignore early head gasket warning signs. Stage 1. Minor external leaks. Catchable. Small amounts of oil or coolant seep from the gasket. You can still drive the car safely. Repair at this stage. $2,000 to $2,500 for head gasket replacement. Stage 2. Moderate leaks. Getting serious. More significant oil or coolant loss. You're adding fluids regularly. Temperature fluctuations begin. Repair cost. $2,000 to $2,500 for gaskets. But you might need machining if warping has started. $500 extra. Stage 3. Internal failure. Critical. Oil and coolant are mixing. Engine overheats regularly. White smoke from exhaust. Severe risk of catastrophic damage. Repair cost. $2,500 to $4,000. Gaskets plus head machining/replacement plus coolant system flush. Stage 4. Catastrophic failure. Engine destroyed. Complete head gasket failure. Severe overheating has warped cylinder heads. Coolant contamination has damaged bearings. Possible cracked cylinder heads or block. Repair cost. $5,000 to $8,000. Possible complete engine replacement or major rebuild. The difference between catching it at stage 1 and letting it go to stage 4 is $3,000 to $5,000. How to check your head gaskets before 100,000. Here's exactly how to check your head gaskets before hitting 100,000 miles. Visual inspection, DIY, free. Pop the hood. Look at the sides of the engine block where the cylinder heads meet the block. Look for oil seepage, wetness, or crusty deposits. Check underneath the car for oil or coolant drips. Look at the coolant overflow tank. Check the level and look for oil contamination. Coolant system pressure test. $50 to $100. Any shop can do this. They pressurize the cooling system and check for leaks. External leaks show up immediately. Internal leaks show up as pressure loss over time. This test catches early failures before symptoms are obvious. Compression test. $100 to $150. Measures compression in each cylinder. Low compression or variation between cylinders indicates gasket failure. Combines this with a leak down test for best results. Block test/combustion leak test. $50 to $100. Checks for exhaust gases in the coolant. A chemical tester changes color if combustion gases are present. This catches internal head gasket leaks even without visible symptoms. Oil analysis, $30 to $50. Send your used oil to a lab, Blackstone Labs, etc. They check for coolant contamination and abnormal wear metals. Catches mixing problems before they're visible. I recommend doing at least the visual inspection yourself, plus a professional pressure test and block test before 100,000 miles. Total diagnostic cost, $150 to $250. That $200 in testing could save you $6,000 in catastrophic failure costs. The preventive solution, replace before failure. If you have a high-risk Subaru approaching 100,000 miles with no symptoms yet, here's what I recommend. Consider preventive head gasket replacement. Yes, it costs $2,000 to $2,500, but you're doing it on your schedule, not when the engine catastrophically fails on the highway. Benefits of preventive replacement. You control the timing. Do it when you have the money saved. You avoid catastrophic overheating damage. You use upgraded multi-layer steel, MLS gaskets that won't fail again. You can inspect and replace other components while the engine is apart, timing belt, water pump, etc. You get another 200,000 plus miles of reliable service. Many Subaru specialists recommend preventive head gasket replacement at 100,000 to 120,000 miles on high-risk models, even without symptoms. It's controversial. Some people say don't fix what isn't broken, but I've seen too many Subarus destroyed by waiting until failure. The preventive approach is financially smarter. The repair. What's actually involved? When you do have head gaskets replaced, here's what's involved. Labor. Remove intake manifold, exhaust manifolds, timing belt, and all accessories. Remove cylinder heads. Send heads to machine shop for inspection and surfacing. Clean all surfaces thoroughly. Install new head gaskets, ideally upgraded MLS gaskets. Reassemble with new bolts torqued to spec. Refill coolant, burp the system, test for leaks. Time. 10 to 15 hours of labor at $100 to $150 per hour equals $1,000 to $2,250 in labor. Parts. Head gaskets, $150 to $300. Head bolts, $100 to $150. Timing belt kit should be replaced while apart, $200 to $400. Water pump, $100 to $150. Coolant, $30 to $50. Miscellaneous gaskets and seal, $100 to $200. Total cost, DIY, $700 to $1,200. Parts only if you have skills and tools. Independent shop, $2,000 to $2,500. Dealer, $2,500 to $3,500. This is a major job. It's not a shade tree repair, but it's doable at an independent shop for reasonable cost. The models you should buy. Instead, if you're shopping for a used Subaru and want to avoid the head gasket issue entirely, here are the models to target. Outback/Legacy with 3.0 liter or 3.6 liter H6 engine. No head gasket problems. Smooth, powerful, reliable. Slightly worse fuel economy, but worth it. 2008 to 2014 WRX/ST. Different head gasket design. Turbo models don't have the same failure pattern. More expensive to maintain for other reasons, but gaskets aren't an issue. 2015 plus models with FB series engines. Newer engine design. Head gasket issues mostly resolved. Still some oil consumption issues on 2011 to 2015 FB25, but later years are better. Any used Subaru with documented head gasket replacement, if someone already replaced the gaskets with upgraded MLS gaskets, you're golden. This actually adds value. You got the inevitable repair done already. If you're looking at a 2005 Outback with 90,000 miles and no head gasket work done, budget an extra $2,500 for the inevitable repair or walk away. The real-world example. Let me give you a real-world example from my own experience. My friend bought a 2007 Outback with 85,000 miles. Great condition, clean history, good price. I told him, budget for head gaskets. They're coming. He said, but there are no symptoms. I'll wait. At 112,000 miles, he started seeing white smoke from the exhaust. Temperature fluctuations began. He kept driving. At 118,000 miles, the engine overheated severely on the highway, warped both cylinder heads. Coolant contaminated the oil and damaged the bearings. Final repair bill: $6,200 for complete engine rebuild. If he'd done preventive head gaskets at 100,000 miles, $2,300. He paid $3,900 more by waiting. Plus, he was without his car for 2 weeks. Plus, he had the stress of a breakdown. Don't be like my friend. Check before 100,000 miles. Address it proactively. The bottom line: every Subaru owner with an EJ25 engine needs to check their head gaskets before 100,000 miles. This affects millions of Subarus from 1996 to 2011, especially Outback, Legacy, Forester, and Impreza with naturally aspirated 2.5-liter engine. The warning sign: external oil or coolant leaks, coolant loss, white exhaust smoke, temperature fluctuations, milky oil or coolant. Check it now. Visual inspection free. Coolant pressure test $50 to $100. Block test for combustion gases $50 to $100. Compression test $100 to $150. If you're approaching 100,000 miles with no symptoms, consider preventive replacement. Cost $2,000 to $2,500. Prevents catastrophic failure. Gives you another 200,000 miles. You control the timing. If you wait until failure, cost $5,000 to $8,000 if it goes catastrophic, inconvenient breakdown, possible engine destruction. The choice is clear. Check it now. Address it proactively. Don't wait until it destroys your engine. And if you want to make sure you're staying on top of every other critical checkpoint as your Subaru ages, not just head gaskets, but timing belts, CVT service, spark plugs, and all the other make-or-break maintenance items, grab the 500,000-mile car maintenance blueprint from the link in the description. It's the complete roadmap to keeping your Subaru running strong for hundreds of thousands of miles. If you found this video helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.